when you have unforgiveness in your heart, when you hold a grudge against someone, it will put you in prison. It will create problems in your life, in the physical realm, in the spiritual realm. Why do we hold on to that? Why do we want to hold on to that? Why would we choose to not forgive? Because that's what it is. It's a choice. Why do any of us hold on to a grudge? I'm amazed at people who hold on to things for so many years. I know several people, and y'all probably know too, several people who years and years and years go by and they still are bitter about things. They're still holding on to things. They have this animosity against somebody that they just can't let go of. They cannot let go of it. It will cause so many problems in your life. It will cause you to be sick physically. And I know someone right now, they're on my mind, that they have this unforgiveness in their heart, and they have continual physical problems, that they have been to doctor after doctor after doctor trying to find out. They had every kind of scan that you can think of, and the doctor cannot find out what's wrong with them. You know what I'm talking about? People that they have these problems in their health, and they can't find out, and the doctors can't find out what the problem is. And I can tell you what the problem is. They won't forgive. They are sick because they won't forgive. They're holding on to a grudge. They have bitterness. It's a funny thing about bitterness. It's not just one little aspect of your life, but it bleeds over into everything else. It's not just one little thing that you're bitter about anytime that person's name is mentioned or that situation's brought up, and otherwise that you're just wonderful. If you're in prison, you're in prison. You remember what Jesus said? So shall my Father do to you if you don't forgive your brothers. Think about that. You're in prison. There's not like an hour of your day that you're in prison. You're in prison. You're in prison all day, every day, for years and years and years, until you decide to give it up, until you choose to let go. That's why my message today is called Get Over It. We have got to choose to get over it. I think every Christian battles this. I think everybody battles it. And the reason I do is we hold other Christians, especially, not just our family members, but we hold other Christians to a higher level. If Olivia hurts me, and then she never comes and makes that right, and I hold that in my heart, and I just have this bitterness toward her, I'm going to have a problem. She may not ever even know that she hurt me. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever seen a situation where one person did another person wrong? They didn't know they did it. The other person holds bitterness for years. And then when it finally gets resolved, that person says, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, Angie and I was discussing this last week. A situation where this bitterness is there from right out of the blue, from years has gone by, and we're looking at each other thinking, what's that about? You know, what is that about? I told you a story, and I'm going to tell it again for the video, and so that will remind you that at work there was a man who said many years ago he was an engineer in a department, and he went down to the office supply store, and he was going to buy something, and he noticed that slide rules were on sale. Now that tells how old this story is. Some people don't even know what a slide rule is, but the slide rules were on sale. Well, for engineering department, that was a very needed item. And so he noticed that these slide rules were on sale, so he bought one for all the engineers in the department. And when he turned it in, there was like a dozen slide rules that he had bought, turned the ticket in. The next staff meeting, the supervisor made this announcement. He said, I want to tell you what the new policy is about purchasing something. He said, before you buy anything, you need to run it through me. I need to know about it. Before you purchase anything, I need to know because there's been some people that, you know, have overbought and all this kind of thing. Well, he got mad about it. He said, you know, here I have saved the company money. These slide rules are a minimal cost. He's embarrassed me in front of all my friends. I was helping the company, and for 1 year, this man held this grudge against his supervisor. Things just weren't the same between them. And at the end of the year, the supervisor called him in for his yearly review and said, you know, I want to tell you, you've done a really good job, and I appreciate the work you've done this year, and on and on and on. And then he said, have you got anything to say to me? And the man said, yeah, I just got I got a problem. And the supervisor said, well, what is it? And he said, well, you know, about a year ago, I bought all these slide rules, and then you came out to staff meeting and told everybody that not to do that again. And the supervisor said, what? He said, yeah. He said, I bought all these slide rules, brought one for everybody in the department. And he said, then you came out and said, before you buy anything, you need to go through me because people are buying things they shouldn't be buying. And the supervisor looked at him and he said, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Bob. Bob was going out buying things that he didn't need. I wasn't talking about you. That was a good decision. And for 1 year, this man had held a grudge about something he had no idea about. He had this animosity inside him. He had this hatred for this supervisor that he had no reason to have. Now, how many times do we do that? We hold a grudge, and when we finally get the situation straight, that's not what happened after all. You know what happens between husbands and wives, between best friends, between siblings, you know, brothers and sisters in Christ. And when you go to that person, they would not have done that. They just didn't do it intentionally. They was not talking about you or whatever the situation is. There's so many times when the devil just likes to get a foothold in your life to cause you to not forgive. Now, we're looking at that one situation.